Hello everyone, Blackmade here, back with another video. So in the new social space, if you notice, or if you've explored, you'll notice that at the back of one of the buildings, there's this little pier and there's a little fire pit right next to it. Now, looking at it, you'll see that it says requires Sentry 4. There's a little X button around it, but you can't do anything with it because you need Sentry 4. Well, how do you get Sentry 4? We did a little exploring, me and my buddy Pyro. You can see him here jumping around with me. And it's actually a multi-step process. So to get Sentry 2, you have to walk on the wires between the buildings. So you can see here, I'm walking across one of the wires between one building and the next. And right about when I get to the end of it, I get a Sentry ×2 and Vertigo completed. Now, we couldn't quite figure out what the Vertigo completed means, but Sentry ×2 means that I'm halfway there to getting the Sentry 4. So the other half of it is running over to that water wheel, and you get on top of it and you just start running. And then it's going to tick over into Sentry ×4. So you're going to run back to that little fire pit and hold X, and you're going to trigger a, basically, best I can come up with is a little race. There's 10 gates that you have to go through, and they're beacons, so they go up pretty high, and you're able to see them from a considerable amount of ways, but you have to run in between them all in order to complete it. Now, starting out, you can actually see the first one right away. It's on a box right to your left, and then the second one is just behind that on those little cliffs along the same line on the left side. The third is actually on a circular radar installation on top of that middle building in the farm. The fourth beacon is on that building as well. It's on the chimneys going towards the building that the Cryptarch is in. The fifth one is along that exact same line, actually on the Cryptarch building. Then you're going to take a hard left, and the sixth is on the bridge going towards the soccer field. The seventh is actually in the new tower hangar. You're actually going to go up onto the roof and then fall through that little hole in the roof to get into it. The eighth is going to be towards the forest, back towards the pier that you came from. So you're going to jump out the hole in the roof that you fell into to get beacon 7 and run across the roof over to the woods for beacon 8. Beacon 9 is along that same pathway at the very edge of the woods towards the lake. And beacon 10 is going to be at the edge of the pier. Now, beyond giving you some additional speed and the ability to jump really high and that really awesome blue streak, I have absolutely no idea what Scouting Commander or Commander's Blessings do. They might have something to do with the lost sectors, they could impact some strikes, they could give you extra materials when you're doing patrol missions, they could do nothing at all, and they could just be something really cool when you're in the farm. Your guess is as good as mine at this point, but hopefully we'll be able to figure out what this actually does in the future. But until we figure out what this actually does, this is just going to be another one of those cool things that Destiny 2 has to offer us.